In what can be considered an NFT bear market, there's one project that's done quite well, that is Chimpers. On OpenSea, they're sitting at just under 3 floor price, a crazy amount of volume, and it's been out for about 2 days. Let's jump in and check out the post-drop stats of Chimpers. What I also want to kind of touch on is the fact that I'm actually not going to cover them deeply in this video. I'm just going to go over the stats. My boy Angel has actually done a video, so NFTverse has actually done a video on Chimpers. You can check that out up here if you want to get more details about the project. Now what I'm going to do is jump over into Nansen because this is the tool that I like to use. Now with the 24-hour market overview, we can see that Chimpers is at number 3 with 1,000 ETH worth of volume. Now with OpenSea, I've got a link for a tutorial up here. Also down below there is a link for Nansen, so you can go and jump in and check it out. It is an affiliate link, so if you do end up kind of buying anything from there, I do get a kickback. Jumping over into the actual project itself, what we can see here, deployed 4 days ago, and we've got 5,400 in circulation. Now, what I kind of want to point out here is the fact that the average price, this is that blue price, it has just been a run up. Now it has had a little bit of a cool off down here, but the idea is that beforehand it's actually done quite well, and the average price actually kind of ran up decently well, and I think that's kind of good. It shows that people just weren't kind of in it for a very quick flip. They actually wanted to kind of see it run up, seeing that most projects now are kind of, a successful project is kind of minting out and selling maybe sort of 30 or 40, well not even 30 or 40%, like sort of 10 or 20% above the mint price. That's not doing quite well, and a good project is doing quite well. So that's why we kind of end up with this big run up, and I think that's quite a good deal. Now what I want to touch on here, so the mint price is 0.7, that's why we end up with such a great kind of multiplication of the project. Now having a look here, we can see that over time, this is the moving average. It is in a slight uptrend, which is good. We will need to kind of see it play out a little bit, because even though the transactions have been down, it's been held down because of the mint price, but the fact that it is quite up over a longer period of time with this project. Now looking at the top balances of Chimpers, what we can see here is that the top holder has 143. We can see that the next person has 100. So you can see there's almost a 50% difference between number 1 and number 2, which is nuts. And then the kind of top 15 round out at around 20. So after you kind of exclude these two big heavy hitters here, is actually a decent distribution where we've got between 50 and 20 holders. It always scares me a little bit when you've got a holder that has a lot, but saying that and where the floor price is, I don't mind too much. If the floor price wasn't too much higher than the mint price, then I think there'd be a few issues, but overall that's not a big deal that I kind of see at this current point in time. Now what I want to touch on is the unique addresses and the holders within this project. Now what we can see here is that we're currently sitting at 2,681. Now what is nice here is that obviously it's just been running up and then running up a little bit more. So it shows you that the people that are holding a little bit more are offloading to some people, but it looks like it may be plateauing off. You need to see it for a few more days, but it's nice that it's kind of moving upwards in that sense. When we have a look at the percentage only holding one NFT, we're at 75%. That's not a bad run when it comes down to the project. I like to see it at around that mark. The fact that we're at this 2,600 mark, it's just over that kind of 50% or around that 50% mark, which is not bad. I like seeing it a 60 or 70% mark. Now looking at the diamond hands, the people that haven't sold anything, we can see here that 3,900 people have not touched their Chimpers, which is quite a big amount of people when it comes to the size of this project. So it shows you that there are a lot of people that are holding on that think they see some long-term potential with this project. Now when we get to the fun stuff and the profit leaderboard, what we can see here is the top profit taker has taken 60 ETH. Now what you will notice here is that NFTs bought and then NFTs sold. Bought one, sold one, so they sold a rare. So that is a kind of an anomaly when it comes down to a profit taker. It's not like they've kind of sold a bunch. The reason I kind of say this is an anomaly, well, it's not necessarily an anomaly, but the idea is the fact that it's not like someone that's kind of loaded up a bunch. It's someone that just had a really good one and was able to sell it for a lot. We then have someone that bought 6, sold 3, and they've got 56 ETH worth of profit. So this is what you can kind of see. We can see all of like a lot of these holders, and this is why I think this is a very good profit leaderboard. Almost all of these people, they've only sold some of their holdings, but they're still holding a lot more. You can see that here because this is the NFTs bought and the NFTs sold. If you end up with the same amount of people that end up kind of like selling off their entire holdings, then it doesn't look as strong. The fact that we've got all of these people here that have kind of bought, they even though they're sitting on some decent profits, and you're talking sort of 20 ETH plus, they haven't sold them all. So that makes me excited about the strength of the project. The fact is, people aren't selling. Like even this guy, bought 9, sold 9. The fact is, he's still holding 1 because people see this as a potential blue chip, so they're kind of holding on to this just in case it does have that kind of that weight later. So they're taking some money off the table, and they're most likely going to reinvest it elsewhere. When we have a look at the smart money is buying in, we can see that in the beginning they were buying in anywhere they could, and then now they're kind of plateauing off at around that 3.5 or that 2.5 to 3 ETH mark. The idea that smart money was buying in up to sort of be at around that sort of 4 to 5 ETH mark shows you that they were very confident, and the smart money was confident in the founder Chimpers and where this project was going, and the numbers and stats just show up. The fact that there was a lot of money thrown around kind of just shows you that confidence, and it's not just speculation when it comes down to what you feel and what you vibe in the market. Now, when we have a look at the current listings, we can kind of see how thick the floor is and where people see the top end of this project. So you can kind of see if there's a position to move into it good. We can see here that here is the largest bar here, and then the other bars here. Now, to break this down, we can go that there are 300 and almost 350 that are selling between the above that sort of 5.4 mark to the 11 ETH mark. So what this means is it means that these are kind of, if you bought in here, you could actually ride it up until you hit a very big kind of barrier at around that 5 ETH mark. So if a lot of crazy volume did come in there, and it's not too much volume because you've got 69 here, 65 here, 84 here, 56 here, and we get up to the hundreds, the idea is that if you did kind of end up buying at around that sort of sub 3 ETH mark, you are going to have a decent run if some volume comes in. So overnight, it could run up to a 4 ETH mark quite quick, but saying that there would be some people jumping in and listing, or some of these people reducing their listings. But currently right now, that's where it's sitting. So it's showing you that a lot of these people are seeing it at above this 5 ETH mark. That's where they're kind of valuing the project. And it's nice when kind of a community kind of has that vibe, because it shows you what they're kind of thinking of the project. And then when we have a look at the smart money and what they're doing, and these are all the listings, they're listing, so we've got somewhere around this sort of 3 ETH mark, but we had a lot of the smart money initially listing it at around that sort of 4 to 10 ETH mark. So it shows you that if you did get in at around that sort of 2 ETH mark, or the 2.5, you could kind of get up to a 3, and that's where you're going to end up basing out at the where the smart money kind of sees this as a decent buy of a project. So that is a breakdown of Chimpers and what's under the hood of the post-drop stats when we get to the holders, some of the profit takers and where they're sitting, and maybe look at the psychology of the project. Is this a future blue chip? I don't know, but looking at the price, what has happened with the profit takers, and the fact that a lot of people are keeping some sort of stashed in their back pocket metaphorically, shows you that there is some confidence in this project. So that is a look at that. If you found value in this video, please consider hitting up that subscribe button while you're down there. Also hit up the like button. As always, it's been a pleasure having you with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.